Welcome back, one and all, to the most amazing top 10. This channel. People tried to tell us to make lists that were 11 items long or 9 items long, and we were like, no mate, we're doing 10. 10 feels right. My name's Danny Berg, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 iPhone games. They used to be fun little time wasters back in the day, but now they're really fun, big time wasters. About 12,000 iPhone games get added to the App Store every single month, so there's a lot to choose from. We've narrowed it down to 10 of what we think is the best, and let's get right into it with our number 10, which is Don't Starve. This award-winning game hit the App Store in 2013, and it had one simple request for players. Just don't starve, please. You play a scientist called Wilson who finds himself in a world that wants to eat him and not let him eat. You have to survive as long as possible. The day and night cycles last about 8 minutes each in real time. In the day, the player gathers food and recipes for crafting. At night, monsters lurk in the dark, of course, and the player needs a light source to keep them at bay. There are a whole bunch of other playable characters too that each have their own unique in-game advantages, including Willow, the fire starter, Wendy and her dead twin Abigail, Wolfgang, the strongman, and WX78, the android. The bad guy in this game is known as Maxwell. Now he watches over each of the 5 chapters in the stories, but he becomes enraged when he sees that the player is not dying and then they're actually completing the game. But you guys will have to see how the story ends. Unless you've already played it, you might have, it's quite a popular game. But for those of you that haven't, I wouldn't surprise it. Go and check it out, it's one of the most popular iPhone games in the world. At number 9 now, we have World of Goo, another game that describes itself very well in its own title. Now World of Goo is a puzzle game where the player has to build structures using balls of goo to get enough goo balls to get to the next level. Goo is a very weird word. The player makes all kinds of towers and bridges to transport the goo, but will need to use unique types of goo to overcome different puzzles. The goo balls gurgle and squeak at you depending on how you manipulate them, and they even change their appearance when you use them for different things. It's quite helpful. A lot of players especially love the sandbox mode, where you get to compete with other players to see who can build the tallest goo tower in the world. Although the game has been out for about 8 years now, so if you are new to it, you may have some catching up to do. Moving on now, we have a game that might have driven some of you guys to insanity, but it really has to appear on any list where we're talking about the biggest iPhone games. And number 8 is Candy Crush Saga. It's simple. You have to line up special candies in lines of 4 or 5 to make them disappear, and then there's striped, wrapped candies and the color bomb. All you need to know is basically if you get these things all lined up, good things happen and candies go pop. It sounds pretty simple, and it really is. That's probably why it ended up everywhere after it was released back in 2012. There was a point where if I saw someone on the bus playing a game on their phone, it was definitely Candy Crush, without a doubt. It's been almost 4 years since its release, and it's still the 4th highest grossing game in the App Store. And the company who made it have just been bought for $5.9 billion because of Candy Crush. Not bad for a game where you simply line up small pieces of candy and pop them. Not bad at all. At number 7 now, we've got Plants vs Zombies. It's a tower defense game where your towers are being attacked by zombies and your towers are plants. What a strange sentence. Now it sounds like the perfect recipe for an iPhone game, and it really is. The zombies want to get to your house, and their choice of attack is to walk very slowly across your lawn. Now you and your neighbour Crazy Dave have to use a whole bunch of gardening tools to fight off every last zombie, both day and night, before they eat your brains. Now tower defense games like this have been around for quite a while, but something about this one sent fans crazy. It could have been the art style, a lot of people loved all the little characters and stuff, and the music, or it could have been the multiplayer mode, or it could just have been all the content that the game had. Whatever it was, it blew up when it hit the App Store back in 2010. It actually sold more than 300,000 copies in its first 9 days of being on sale. It seems like people just love to kill zombies with plants. Who would have thought? Alright, at number 6 now is Words with Friends. Now if you remember the time before apps on phones, then you might recognize Words with Friends as being very similar to Scrabble. That's because It is, yeah, it's basically Scrabble. Still, it wasn't the originality of this game that made it a massive success. They made it compatible and accessible to people who wanted to play with their friends. As soon as two people were playing Scrabble on Words with Friends, that was the one you downloaded because your friends were on it. It was also cross-platform from release so that you could play with iPad or iPod users and even those with Androids or Windows phones, and on top of that, it was also integrated with Facebook, so you don't even have to get off Facebook to play it. The game also has a random opponent feature that also lets you chat to other people, and I even read a few stories about people falling in love and getting married because of this game when they were matched together randomly. Amazing story, but I still wonder who won that game. Alright, halfway through now. At number 5, we have Minecraft Pocket Edition. It was only a matter of time before someone had the genius idea to take the incredibly successful game that is Minecraft and port it over to a mobile device. It was first released for the iPhone on November 17th, 2011 and was intended to be a kind of stripped back version of the original PC game. All the basic elements that made Minecraft so popular can still be found in this Pocket Edition. The worlds are still randomly generated and fans of the original series can now continue to build buildings, burn trees and just bash zombies on the go wherever they are. The goal of the game has always been to try and bring the Pocket Edition as close to the full PC version as possible, and seeing as the PC version is widely referred to as possibly the greatest indie game success story of all time, the Pocket Edition looks like it might have a pretty bright future ahead. Alright, coming in at number 4 now, we have Fruit Ninja. Now this is simply one of the most successful iPhone games of all time because they exploited one simple fact about humans. We all want to be ninjas, like everyone. It's true. Ask yourself if you want to be a ninja right now. See, Fruit Ninja lets you become the ninja you know you can be, but without all the guts and the gore and all that training and stuff. Fruit jumps up, you swipe fruit, you slice fruit. If you swipe and slice fruit well enough, you get a combo! Just like that. It's exactly like that. This game came out in 2012 and not long after, it had sold an amazing 300 million copies. In fact, 1 in 3 American iPhones had this game on them at one point. Is it because of the fruit or is it because of the ninja? Fruit or ninja? Fruit or ninja? You don't have to choose, just play the game. Alright, at number 3 now, we have Clash of Clans. Build your own world and destroy other people's worlds. Sounds fun. The simple concept and friendly graphics draw people in, but they stay for the strategy. Players have to build up their town, build soldiers and attack other players to earn gold and elixir. If you can't find any other players, don't worry because you can always take your frustration out on goblin villages because nobody likes a goblin. This game simply blew up when it first hit the App Store back in August 2012. Just a few months later, it was already in the top 5 downloads worldwide, and by 2015 it was estimated the game was making $1.5 million for its creators every single day. That's crazy. I bet they spent it all on gems in the game. I know I would. They probably did too. Alright, next up we have a game that was inspired by our last game, made by the same company, and it might go on to be even bigger. At number 2, it's Clash Royale. So take Clash of Clans and its tower defense success, add a dash of popular card games and a hint of battle arena, and it's no wonder why Clash Royale is being widely called one of the best games of 2016, and it only came out in February. Your task is clear. Destroy your enemy's king's tower, or more towers than them overall. Despite its whole tower defense element, many people still call it the best card game around, because if you beat other players, you get chests of gold and cards. Now cards can be upgraded and used in your deck for the next battle. That's where all the strategy comes from. It seems that the folks behind Clash of Clans weren't a one-hit wonder after all, because Clash Royale became the most downloaded and top grossing app upon its release. I feel like at this point you can just put Clash in front of literally any word and it will sell. Clash of Burke, anyone? And finally now, we have a game that probably set humanity back by about 100 years from all the time we've wasted playing it. We could have been living on Mars by now if it wasn't for our number 1. It's Angry Birds. Now I would have loved to have been in the room when someone proposed this game. So let me get this straight, it's a game where you knock down pigs. Is that it? That's everything? Pretty much. You knock them down with birds. What? Angry birds. They're birds but they're angry. You get it? You see? Yeah, I don't know how it got through, but it did, and it took over the world. It was released back in December 2009 on the iPhone, and by October the following year it had sold 12 million copies. From there it spawned a series of 12 further games in its own series and had 3 spin-offs as well. By July 2015 these games had been downloaded collectively over 3 billion times. Can't even get my head around that number. Then came comic books, cookbooks, storybooks, comics, toys, drinks, and pretty much anything you can slap the face of an Angry Bird on. And if the hundreds of millions of fans of this game weren't happy with that, Angry Birds are going to be on the big screen soon. Maybe an Angry Bird will win an Oscar. Who knows at this point? Anything's possible. They might have gone a bit over the top with all the merchandise, but the results speak for themselves. After more than 6 years, it's still sitting at the top. But maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe you guys disagree. Maybe your list is totally different. Well, that's what the lovely comment section is for down there. So share your own list. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and play iPhone games responsibly. I've seen plenty of people go crazy thinking they're some sort of angry Clash, Fruit Ninja, Scrabble player. That's exactly what happens, and that's exactly what it will do to you. This has been Most Amazing Top 10. I'm Danny Burke. You can follow me on Instagram somewhere down there. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch you all soon.